Horns up and welcome to Headbanger's Kitchen. I do quite enjoy answering your questions, and on Instagram and on Facebook I had asked you guys if you have any questions for me. I did one episode of a Q&A from the questions submitted via my Instagram DMs, and the last one was questions that you submitted to me on Facebook. Now that I couldn't finish in one video, so here I am today with a new Q&A video, the questions that you guys asked me on Facebook. So let's get on with it. Alright, so the first question comes from Kim Skinner, who asked two questions, but I'll answer both. One universal vegetable besides cauliflower ? I would have to say the zucchini, because well, you can make noodles out of it, you can grate it and make like a rice out of it, you can bind it with egg and make like a fritter. The possibilities are endless. So zucchini, or as some of you call it, squash, is basically what I think is the one that can stand up to cauliflower. The second question she asks is, one thing Americans should know about India. Well, you should know that Indians actually do eat meat, and many Indians even eat beef. Not everybody worships the cow. In fact, only 30% of Indians are actually vegetarian, and the only reason this gets pushed forward is because it's propaganda. It's literally the wealthiest in the country. They are the so-called vegetarians, like the ones who run the media houses, who run some of the biggest companies in this country, and of course our politicians. So the rich and vegetarian are the reason you think India is a vegetarian country, but India is not. I'm so sure this is going to open up a can of worms in the comments, but you know what? I don't care. I have never been afraid of sharing my unbiased and unfiltered opinion, and I'm not going to stop now because I have a cooking show. The next question comes from Annette, who asks, have I used the Old Bay seasoning on anything else? And she's used it on frying chicken and meatballs, and it's so good. You know what? I really dig the Old Bay seasoning. I've made some prawns with it. I made those chicken nuggets with it, and I've used it on a couple of other things which I can't reveal right now, but it was good, I gotta say. Jana Gina asks me, why you choose keto as a diet for you? Well, a friend of mine did the keto diet, my bass player from my comedy rock band workshop. He got it from some dietitian. I told him he was going to get a heart attack and die. He didn't. He lost 30 kilos. My wife Dipti saw his results and was like totally like sold on the ketogenic diet. She did all the research. She did it. She lost 10 kilos. She explained the science to me, and I said, you know what? I gotta try it as well. I tried it. It worked for me, and here I am. That's me cutting a long story short. I hope that answered your question. A gentleman called Awake B asks me, I love to see all those delicious things you cook in the Headbanger's kitchen, and I am so desperate to try them, but I am too lazy to cook. Where do I get started? Well, the perfect place to get started is in your kitchen, my friend, and I would recommend trying an easy recipe to start with. Something like, say for example, my keto chocolate mousse. It is so simple. And if you've been watching the latest series that I did, which is the 5 ingredients or less, that's the perfect way to start your keto cooking, or any kind of cooking in fact, because it's very simple, it's few ingredients, it's not very complex, and I think it should really help you to start getting to cook and enjoy the process. Alternatively, I would say start with making a fried egg. It doesn't get simpler than that. Egg, oil, salt, that's it. Good luck with your cooking. The next question comes from Shreya Shetty, who asks, when do we get to eat at Headbanger's Kitchen restaurant? When somebody throws a lot of money at me and says, I'll go open a restaurant. Sumbul Kurishi asks, your experience of weight loss with the keto diet, and also what inspires and motivates you in life. Well, I've already done a video about my weight loss journey with keto. You can probably click here or here and see it in that I button, and you'll get my story. But what inspires me in life? Everything. Food, music, and just life itself. I guess it's, you could say I find inspiration in the mundane maybe. I enjoy what I do. I try to look at everything in a positive way rather than harp on the negative. You know, sometimes people need to actually do positivity exercises. So like when you wake up, you think of something positive. When you go to sleep, you write everything that you are thankful for in that day itself. And that should generally help you staying motivated. For me, I don't need to do all that. I generally try and find motivation in life itself. Yeah, it's a little vague and stuff, but I kind of on the spot. I wish I had time to sit and think of a much more well articulated answer, but you know what, maybe I'll revisit this question in the future. Suresh Subramanian asks, why does butter make everything better? Because it just does. I guess it's not only butter, you know. Good quality products make good quality food, and that's all I gotta say about that. The next question comes from Monica, who asks me, do you remember the first song you heard that made you fall in love with heavy metal, and what was your musical taste before then? As a fan of metal and keto, your channel is the best in my opinion. Love your work and your yummy recipes. You make keto living so much easier. Well, Monica, thank you so much for the kind words. I'm really glad you enjoy the recipes I put out and the content on this channel. The first metal song that really grabbed me by the balls was Iron Maiden's Running Free. I remember listening to that, followed by Phantom of the Opera, obviously same album, back-to-back songs, and that really just grabbed a hold of me. To be honest, my musical taste was quite shit. Okay, no judgment, but yeah, I listened to Backstreet Boys, the Spice Girls, a lot of techno and that kind of stuff. Of course, yes, nothing wrong if you want to listen to that, but I don't really dig that stuff anymore. It's too superficial and not enough depth and meaning in it. But anyway, enough jibber jabber. So yeah, that was what got me into metal, and that was the kind of music I listened to before metal. Yeah. Pilar asks me, if you had to cook for a band, which band and which menu? So if you didn't know, I used to interview bands on Headbanger's Kitchen. I've had everyone from Gojira, Lamb of God, Nerve Cell, George Coleus, Wolf, so many bands on the show, and I fed them many dishes. I would say I've lost the interest in doing that, largely because now it's all about keto, but there are still a couple of bands I would absolutely love to have on the show and feed. They would be Soilwork and Behemoth, and I think I would like to cook, I don't know, you know, this is something I would do back in the day. I would go over the songs and the album names, and I would try and conceptualize a dish based on that and their dietary preferences. So yeah, I mean, I would have to kind of talk to whoever I'm going to interview in the bands and then fix the menu. But I think for Behemoth, maybe something hearty like a whole roast pig, and for Soilwork, something more like a pasta, I feel. I don't know. Just my thought. Marcial asks me, what keto meals would represent metal genres such as a human in a thyme butter sauce would clearly be a death metal recipe for everyone to enjoy? That's a bizarre question, and definitely I would stay away from all kinds of human meat. But since this is quite an interesting question, I would say I would represent death metal with a rare steak, something like a massive T-bone or something like that. You know, maybe black metal would be sushi. That would be interesting. Raw fish, black metal. Or maybe something with pork. Actually, black metal likes to use a lot of pig's blood in their stage shows. So I'd definitely go with a whole roast pig to represent black metal. Maybe for doom metal, I'd take something really depressing like porridge. You know, it just looks like mush or baby food. That would be doom metal. For thrash metal, maybe something like roast chicken. Or no, maybe for thrash metal, I'd go with... yeah, okay, yeah, maybe the roast chicken for thrash metal, maybe like a mac and cheese just for heavy metal. So many different things we could do, but yeah, that's an interesting question, and those are my thoughts on it. Alright, so the final question comes from Dipti Thomas, who asks me, would you follow keto forever, or after a while would you follow a low carb diet as a lifestyle? She says, I miss having wholesome food for nutrition. I miss my fruits the most on keto and various micronutrients it comes along with. The idea of ingesting so many pills for micronutrients for a lifetime hurts. Post my goal weight as a maintenance diet, I wish to do paleo or low carb, high fat and be wholesome. Okay, so in simple understanding, it is, would I do keto forever? What is sustainable as a lifestyle? Now this is a very unique question, because I think your long-term goals are all based on your current age, your health and what you want out of life and food. So somebody who's probably diabetic, who has found a life-saving mechanism in keto, or who has illnesses, for them there's no question of going off keto, because it's their reason for living now. It's what's keeping them alive, giving them a better quality of life. For someone who wants to just lose weight, keto provides you the tool to do that. So maybe after they reach a goal weight, they just go off keto and just go back to regular eating and maybe put on weight and again go back to keto to lose the weight and just constantly yo-yo. For me personally, like I said in my earlier video, I don't take any supplementation on keto. I ensure I eat a wide variety of foods. So I totally believe that keto is sustainable, long term, and having all the nutrition you require. You can have fruits on keto. Look, a lot of people do keto for weight loss, which is why we impose stricter guidelines for those people, saying don't do this or don't do that. If you are doing keto long term, you don't really follow those guidelines in terms of a very rigid sort of form. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Like, if you're doing keto forever and you've reached your weight loss goals and you're just doing it because you feel good, you can squeeze in half a kiwi in a day. You can squeeze in maybe quarter of an apple. There are many more things you can allow yourself when you're doing it as a lifestyle, because you're not looking at getting out of ketosis all the time and coming back in or things like that. For me personally, as someone who loves food and who has watched David Chang's Ugly Delicious recently, I cannot see myself not eating pizzas, rice and just all kinds of food for the remainder of my life, because I am a food lover. That is my passion. That is what keeps me excited and keeps me even cooking today. For me, keto is a tool for weight loss, for something I feel good on. So I'm a person that doesn't stick to one thing. If any of you have been watching the stuff I do, I have trouble being on track with a lot of things. So it's too early for me to say I will not be on keto for a long time, or that I'm going off keto for a long time. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I think you have to figure out how to bring in more nutritious food into your keto lifestyle and then see where it takes you, which is exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to balance out keto with exercising, with cheat days, and trying to just have a more sustainable way of living. Because I've reached close to my goal weight, and like I told you, I reached my goal weight, but my body still looked the way it did. It just looked like a smaller version of it. And now I've started exercising so that I can get some shape and get a body that I am, really happy with. So yeah, that's my answer. I hope I managed to answer your question. And you know what, guys, if you have more questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. I do enjoy these Q&A videos, and I hope you do as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell icon for notifications, and I will see you on the next episode of HEADBANGER'S Kitchen. Cheers and keep ketoing.